Hey everybody, Drew here from Smokecraft Barbecue, and today I want to share with you what the different types of pork ribs are. We get a lot of questions, why do you use one type of pork rib versus a different type of pork rib? Well, thanks to Prairie Fresh, we've got 3 different pork rib cuts in front of us, and we're able to take a look one by one and talk about what the differences are. So first off, right here I have our baby back ribs. In the middle here I have a St. Louis cut spare rib, and all the way over here I have a full spare rib. So what are the differences? Well, now that you can see them side by side, you can see there are a lot of differences. But let's start off talking about our baby back rib. The baby back ribs are also known as loin ribs. They come from the curved part of the back right along the loin, hence why they have curved bones. Now, these ribs, because they're closer to the loin, are going to be meatier. They're going to be tender, but they're definitely tougher to cook because there's not as much intermuscular marbling inside of them. Now, we are fortunate to work with Prairie Fresh and have USA Prime baby back ribs here, and they have great marbling inside of them. So you want to find the highest quality baby back rib you can to ensure you have that intermuscular marbling as you cook it. But these are going to come out weight-wise somewhere between 2.5 pounds per rack, and it's still a good sized piece of meat, and most of your meat is going to be on the top of this rack of ribs. We come over to the St. Louis cut ribs, and this is a spare rib that's been cut down, and this is actually the continuation of a rib. If I went like this is the continuation of the rib on the hog. And it comes down towards the middle of the rib area. And if you look all the way to spares, they're pretty similar to spares, which go down to the breastbone area. So what's the difference here? Well, this one, you're going to have more meat instead of on top. You're going to have more meat between the ribs. Now, on top, this layer on top here is almost getting into the belly, the pork belly, which is where your bacon comes from. So this is going to be a little bit less of meat than you're going to see on top of the baby backs, and then you're going to have more space between them and more meat in between. The intermuscular marbling is going to be higher. This is why we typically use a spare rib for most competitions, because you're able to get it more tender as it cooks down with a higher intermuscular marbling. But this is right here, this is cut, trimmed. This comes in at about 3 to 3.25 pounds per rack, and these are essentially ready to go. And then you come over here to our full spare rib. You'll notice, again, the similarities here. The full spare rib, this has not been cut or processed, so this is going to be your cheapest of the ribs, and this is where the rib tips come from. If I were to trim this part right here down, the top section right here, this is the rib tips along the bone that comes across. You can see we still have a bone here, but this is, you would cut this to serve it. But essentially, this is the same rib as this rib, except it hasn't been trimmed. So these are your 3 different ribs. Their baby backs are going to be your most expensive. They're the most popular ribs out there. These are what you buy at the store when they're pre-cooked ribs. Don't ever do that. But this is what you do at the store. This is what you're going to find on a lot of menus. And they're very, very popular baby back ribs. You go to get into a barbecue house, most of the time they're going to be serving either full spares or St. Louis ribs, which is just cut down spares. So all 3 turn out a really great product. All 3 are fantastic, but they all cook just a little bit differently because the size, the marbling, and how lean the meat is on top. So this one's going to take about 2.5 hours to cook. These will take closer to 3 to 4 hours to cook, and these could take 4 to 5 just because they're a little bit bigger. So thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something today. Thanks to Prairie Fresh for providing us with these great ribs for today's demo. If you liked today's video, be sure to click the like and subscribe button down below so you can follow all of our upcoming videos and see what we do with all the different types of ribs that we cook. We look forward to seeing you again sometime soon.